Hey, I'm Scott,
And I'm Chris.
and this is Doxologic, where we help you think with your Bible.
Thanks so much for tuning in to another episode of Doxologic. We have another mailbag episode for you today. Scott and Chris, it is a pleasure to be here.
Always.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, Chris,
Good to be
I like
together.
your holiday sweater over there.
Well,
Does it have glitter on it?
Well,
it's glittering. It is.
okay.
It's
It
glittering.
accidentally has glitter on it. I don't know how.
What do
I
you
pulled
mean
it out of my.
accidentally has
Accidental
glitter
glitter.
on it.
This is the first time I've worn it the whole
man.
year,
So
the
good.
season. And my grandma Alice, who is a
Sewed that for you.
wonderful
She knitted it.
matriarch in my family.
Knit.
She's now 99 years old. Was a missionary for over 30 years. Just keep talking bad about her.
I was gonna
life.
say,
Bring
dang,
all this
man, you gotta go there. Why
godliness
you gotta
and
go there?
wonderful. She's an
We were on
amazing
her
woman.
making your sweater.
Alice Ratcliffe, 99 years old. She gave me this a few years ago, and it's just it makes me feel like Christmas when I wear it.
You are
the
glistening.
glitter also means I'm ready for a party. Clearly, I am ready to party.
I don't think
People are going to start this on audio and make sure they watch this just
Yeah.
because of whatever it is that my shirt
I hope
looks
they can
like.
see
So
it.
Yeah,
that's
for
what
the
I'm hearing.
record, I don't think you needed to have a glitter sweater for us to know you were ready to party. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Thank you. I
Yeah.
appreciate that.
Yeah.
But not everyone would know that naturally about a pastor.
that's
that I'm
fair.
also ready to party.
That's fair.
So
Yeah.
Oh, this is a great intro.
this is great. Who knows what's going to come from here?
Oh gosh,
That's great.
It's fun to be here. Yep. All right, we can jump in. We've got some questions, a wide variety of topics. So let's get going. The first question reads like this: what is gossiping, and how does it differ from asking other Christians for advice?
It's it's interesting second question.
Yeah.
Like how does it differ from? I would expect a kind of a different trajectory of that question, but let's try to address both. So, what is gossip, and
Yeah.
how does it differ from? Say it again.
From asking other Christians for advice.
Asking other
I
Christians
imagine
for advice.
that could look like, "Hey, this is going on with my family. What do you
Okay.
think I should do?" But you have to give some
yeah.
detail.
Okay, that's a good point.
Yeah.
That's probably
That's exactly what I would imagine
Okay.
they're trying to get at.
where they're trying to get at.
Yeah.
So,
You
Scott,
wanna
what's
give a
what's a
definition?
succinct? I was going to let you do it. Actually, we're both deferring. Who wants to do
shit.
this? I would say that gossip starts with speaking. Generally speaking, it's going to be in an unflattering manner about another person who doesn't know you're speaking about them, and whose business you really don't have a right spreading. At the very least, we start with that as a formula for what determines gossip. But I would say it's important that it's not just talking about another person. There's times when you need to do that, right? So, but it's going to be spreading information that's not yours to spread, and it's I would say every case is going to be unflattering in some way.
Unflattering, I would add another part, unnecessary.
Okay, yeah.
Something that, someone else doesn't need to know about that individual person, And a lot of times the way it operates in Christian circles, just to tie it into the second question, is like you said, hey, so-and-so really struggles with blah, blah, blah. Would you help me? Like, would you pray for me and how
have
I
to
deal
address
with this?
it? Yeah.
Yeah. And so it
Okay.
ends up being kind of a Christian facade for gossip. But I would say that gossip's going to run a similar line to slander. It's going to run a similar line to slander, but it's going to be maybe unknown to the person that you're slandering that's happening, unless that person who receives the gossip ends up going to tell the person that they heard it in the first place. There's a bunch of different verses that would come to mind on this. One is Exodus 23:1, talking about not spreading false reports. Don't help a guilty person by being a malicious witness. You've got 2 Corinthians 12, verse 20, which says, I fear that perhaps when I come, I may not find you as I wish. This doesn't sound good. And that you may find me not as you wish, that perhaps there may be quarreling, jealousy, anger, hostility, slander, gossip, conceit, and disorder. And again, slander and gossip, different words, but not so far separate that, they don't belong together as Paul brings them together here. Both are concerns, both are ungodly, both are sinful. I think of even just the start of James chapter 1 and talking about the use of the tongue, that we need to be really careful. And that probably plays into the second part as well, is what kind of wisdom would you heed to be careful with your tongue on what you express? Because there are times where you do need help to truly biblically deal with the situation. But the person that I'm concerned about is the person who doesn't have any guardrails up, right? Is just free to blab about whatever instead of going, how do I give you the least amount of information in the believing the best kind of way to help you help me help them?
Yeah.
It's good. I like what you
Right?
did there.
Yeah.
That kind
Help
of
you, help me, help them. Yep.
that is a different mentality. So I think one of the mentalities that I think is helpful with gossip, because this is a difficult line to figure out. Wait, did I just gossip? Did I not gossip? Are you constantly thinking about guarding your tongue?
Mm-hmm.
Are you constantly thinking about Matthew 12:10, that you're going to give an account for every careless word that you speak, right? That's a strong word from
heavy.
the Lord Jesus. My goodness, especially as one who talks a lot for a living. That's a dangerous place to be, right? James chapter 1. It gets all after this. Let me cite a couple things here. Verse 26 of chapter 1, if anyone thinks he is religious and doesn't bridle his tongue but deceives his heart, this person's religion is worthless. You could talk about chapter 3.
Yeah, that's where I went to.
How great a forest is set ablaze by such a small fire, and the tongue is a fire, a world of unrighteousness. So just being very careful to say, if you're truly looking to help another person, what are the necessary facts expressed in a believe the best way about the person that is strictly for the purpose of yielding a kind of counsel that would be beneficial unto their souls and wouldn't unnecessarily disparage them.
Right.
There's a degree also of who you're sharing the information with. Are you sharing it with someone that can handle sometimes sensitive information that's going to need to be shared so that you're able to help this other person, but you're not sharing it with someone who themselves gets a sense of gratification off of knowing that, right?
Yeah.
They want to lean into tell me more.
Yeah.
They want to draw you out to say
Morsels,
more.
right? Proverbs talks about that.
They're
Yeah.
searching for incrimination. They're searching for the worst. No, you don't want to seek advice from that person. That's
Yeah.
not wise. You want to seek advice from someone that maybe they would know when to help you stop.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I'm going to lay this out. These are the facts of the story, and I need some help because I have to address somebody. But help me by the wise person listening is going to be to help you say, hey, you can stop there. I think that's enough necessary information so that we're not crossing the line into gossip. So you want a wise friend who is able to take that information, but less of it.
Yeah. That's interesting. There's some wisdom in seeking counsel, a warning for like an unbridled tongue in regards to like a careless word. And then I feel like there's also like a missing element of like bring your concern to the Lord.
Right.
And sometimes that's all it needs. That's the farthest it would need to go versus having other people enter in by means of advice. If you're not sure, if you're like, this could be gossiping, I feel like I would need to tell someone all this information, like lay those out in your prayer.
And it's never expressed well in the scriptures. As soon as you said your idea, Chris, I went to that morsels idea. And just a couple verses. Proverbs 16:28, a dishonest man spreads strife, and a whisperer separates close friends. Well, you don't want that. You don't want that mentality. He goes on again in chapter 18, as we know that certain themes recur in the book of Proverbs, but verse 8 of chapter 18, the words of a whisperer are like delicious morsels. They go down into the inner parts of the body. So we have to be careful, even as the listeners, to your point, Chris, to recognize our flesh is going to have a desire to want to know what you know and want to help in a way that you are going to be tempted to wanting more information than you really need. Yep. And at the same time, our flesh, the one bringing the information, truly, genuinely, hopefully seeking counsel, hems that in, knowing that our flesh has a desire to know that, like delicious morsels,
That's good. So a little caution for the one sharing and the one receiving.
Yeah.
That's good.
Bree does such a good job just summarizing it.
Like that's all we have to
we
say.
spent about 9
these
minutes
people
on
have to listen to us meander all over the place, and she goes, boom, and 10 seconds gives the answer.
That's why she's so popular.
Yep. Hundo P.
That's what they say,
100%. Hundo P.
A fun little
Got him.
part to Scott.
As I say, I just can't. Sometimes I just can't
Wow.
with you. Sometimes
I've never heard you say
He
that.
loves me.
Oh, I think it all the time.
You do?
Hundo P. Continue.
You've been listening to Doxologic, a podcast by Doxa Church in Rockland, California. To learn more, visit us online at doxa.church.